Hello, everyone. The topic for the day is competencies and success factors for stakeholder management. I repeat, competencies and success factors of stakeholder management. So, this will be a very small presentations. Basically, I will try to converge all the important aspects as for the what are the success parameters, what are the competencies, abilities required for implementing projects after projects successfully. So basic agenda for this presentation is to find out reason for failures of the projects and what is it that is vital for the stakeholders to make a project a huge success. Remember, one success falls for you, you will have projects and your hands will always be full. Your company order book will be always be lined up, and there will be no dearth for business projects for you. So please watch this video very closely and try to identify the competencies, the skills, the abilities, the special requirement that a company must essentially possess. Remember, sustainable competitive advantage is what we all aspire to be. To suggest certain reasons for the lack of engagement, and I will be suggesting few strategies to improve business prospects. So, what exactly is project? It's a unique process. It's a set of activities which needs perfect controlling, perfect coordination within a time frame that needs to be understood to achieve an objective. So, with specific requirement that comes around it. So, basically, we are talking about what exactly is a project. We have to speak it is within the three constraints of time, cost, and resources to attain an objective within a requisite time frame, within a specific modus operandi, and having a series of activities which is to be controlled and coordinated at all times. So that needs to be understood time and again. A project, remember, is always essentially time bound. When I say time bound, it becomes temporary, so it ceases to exist the moment the objectives has been achieved. So we are looking at delivering a project, a business product as on business case. So, project failure, why do we fail it and how often does it happen? So, a project is considered to be a failed initiative if it does not achieve the objective which was laid down at the very beginning during the initiations of the project. Therefore, in order to succeed, a project has to meet its objective within the three constraints. Again, it's all about your resources, it is all about your time, it is all about your cost, money. So, we need to achieve an objective. In case we do not meet an objective, we fail, or should I say, we meet an objective, but we escalate on the cost, or probably on the time, or probably there is an excessive usages of the resources. So again, this needs to be kept in mind. Time, cost, and resources within a stipulated parameters. If we can achieve the desired objective, nothing like it. That means a complete success, or else it's a partial success, partial failure, or an utter failure might be. So remember, change happen when there is something called stakeholder capabilities and stakeholder abilities with the output willingness. So we have got three parameters that comes around it. We have the stakeholder capabilities and the stakeholder abilities with the output willingness, and that is the change button we can press. So projects is all about change of project altogether. So we come to the stakeholder engagement. What are the we have said about the stakeholder engagement, the ability to engage, and the people engagement is a pivotal. Remember, pivotal for an effective change. If every stakeholder is of the opinion that yes, we require the change, I am sure the change is going to take place. But in case some of them or some of us are not on the same page, are not are do doubt, have some doubts in their mind, things will not be going on the same run all together. This is what needs to be understood. The ability to engage with people as often as possible, cooperate with them, correlate with them, understand them, remove their doubts. If there are any issues, resolve them. These will build be a confidence building measures for all of us, and that is what the ability to engage with these people is all about. It, remember, people engagement is full competence. Once the people starts drawing towards you, coming up with their queries, thinking it out, and contextualizing it, I am sure leadership will take the mantle to solve all the issues and create trust and faith. So, why don't we? Basically, why don't we? At times, we don't have enough time. We do not accommodate enough time, pack in enough time for the project implementation or execution stage. At times, probably the resources cost escalates, and that leads to not enough money. At times, did I say of ill trained team members or ill equipped equipments? So it's not enough skill that been there, and probably it's only a little change that we look into it. And this is all about mentality that we talk about it. So that these are the reason why probably a project falters and doesn't achieve desired objective. So cost of non-compliance. Remember, what is the cost of non-compliance and compliance? This is non-compliance, and this is all about compliances. The failure is because of very high of non-compliance appraisals and prevention. Now you look into it in prevention and compliance scenario. If we are reckoning to all the things that is required, prevention, we are giving more attention to the prevention things, more attention to the appraisals or feedback or consultations things. I don't think there is enough reasons enough for the project to fail. Probably there is a huge chances that project is going to be a successful one, vis-a-vis the other way around, where probably because of lack of appraisals and prevention formalities, or should I say the compliance formalities out here, which is very little, the chances of failure becomes very high. Now let us talk about the communication planning. Now this is what about the strategies, about the plans, the action, and probably the feedback or the measurement that we keep on taking around it. So what are the strategies? We talk about the overall objective. We talk about the audiences, the key stakeholders, the messages, and probably the modus operandi as to how we approach the project. Remember, this is all before the execution of the project, and that is what the strategy is. So the macro goals are we looking into it. Then comes the next stage of planning. Here it is not macro goals, it is how are we going to plan minute goals, or should I say micro goals, as to now we assign everything as to who will deliver the objectives, what are the audiences that we are looking at it, how the messages has to be filtered around, and probably how to approach the projects altogether. So probably what I'm trying to do is out here is to be assign responsibilities, duties to the manpower. This is where we are going for micro planning, and comes the stage of execution. Definitely is the carry out stage, where we actually make thing happens as per the strategy, as per the operational plan that we have already entangled. Then comes the measurement, which is evaluating the effectiveness of communication efforts, or probably the feedback as per the standards that were set out here, and the actuals that we have actually got it. So we have the actuals out here, and the standards were out here. So what I've been doing is we have overshoot. Probably what have we done? We have delivered the project in a smaller space of time, in a much utilized, or we have utilized very less amount of cost, or a fraction of cost we have done it, or we have reduced a lot of wastage in terms of resources. So standards and vis-a-vis actuals will actually measure the profitability, and this all related to communication aspect only. Remember, communication is to succeed in conveying the information, and most importantly evoking understanding. Remember, communication is just not the transfer of information altogether. This is the true thing that you need to take into consideration. A final thought. So there is not no such thing as a technology project. I don't think it is a tech project or a software project, an autobot project or a machine learning project. Remember, behind the machine learning, behind the artificial intelligence, there is a man behind it. There is a human brain working around it. And all projects are about changes, all projects are about upgradation, all projects are about upskilling, upliving standards of living and comfortable thoughts that goes around it. And that is what we do it. With this, I come to the end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.